Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Do not forget to hit subscribe. So today we're going to be attempting to review this product here, which is called the Chemical Guys Mrs. Sasquatch Maximus Pink. So that's a pink version, Mrs. version, girly version if you like. I think there's a blokey version in a different colour. I bought this from Into Detailing. It costs £6.95. Now we're going to go through a lot of information here. First of all, this towel is a 16 by 16, so it's a square towel. Let's just talk about price a little bit because that's important. So £6.95 for a 16 by 16 towel, even in today's market, is a little bit on the pricey side. Imran sells a Korean one, like a 400 or 500 edgeless Korean towel for £3.50, but he also sells a similar coral fleecy type towel, which is what this is, for £4.96, called the Supersaurus, which I really like. Very similar towel, but it's rectangle, but it's cheaper. That's an old one, so it's not looking quite as minty as this one. Just to give you some other things though, if you check out the Rag Company, Microfiber Madness, CarPro and Geon do very good microfiber. FaneLab also do some good microfiber. They're more in line with Microfiber Madness prices, which are sort of towards the top of the market. I'd like to see that price closer to £5.95 or £4.95 ideally. So that gives you a flavour of what that's based on. I just feel that's a little bit pricey for the size of the towel. What does it claim? It claims it's the softest, plushest, most absorbent microfiber towels ever made. I'll give them a maybe on that. We'll talk about why. It's a lovely soft cloth. It feels high quality. But I'll give them a maybe on that, because how the hell are you ever going to prove that? But maybe, probably chances are it's not. But there's some stuff that's relevant to that. They say that this fluffy Yeti is the perfect for drying cars after wash. I'm going to give them a no on that, because the 16 by 16 towel is a small towel that you fold 4 ways. It's not the thickest, densest towel on the market, and you'll need a load of them to dry a towel. You might have a preference for a small towel, but these soft coral fleece towels, once they start to get wet, because they're very fine on the surface, they can be a bit draggy when you're getting the majority of the water off, and I find they're better for a final wipe down wash. You might think I'm being pedantic there, but I'm going against the product claims and giving you my opinion. So I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's perfect for drying a car after a wash. I'm going to go no. Reduce scratching when you're drying the car. Yes, I'll give them a yes on that, because it's your average microfiber cloth. Have I got one kicking around? Well, you know what? Your average microfiber cloth isn't this high quality. It's a much thinner kind of thing, often with a stitched border, and it's just a thin microfiber cloth. And this is, you know, this is a high quality kind of coral fleece product. So I'll give them the reduced scratching, yes. Lint free, we'll find out. Ultra soft wipe, yes. Pick up mist dirt without scratching is one of the bullet point claims. Well, yeah, but, okay, try and avoid doing that, but yeah, okay, whatever. So I thought that's all they said about it on the Into Detailing site, and I could only find it on Into Detailing. I couldn't find it on the Chemicals Guys site, so I'm worried this cloth might have gone out of production or something. I don't know. So put in the comments if you know anything about that. I went and Googled on YouTube, and Chemical Guys did a video on it saying that it's ideal for detail sprays, compounds, glazes, waxes and sealants. And that is, I agree with that, and I actually think it's much better for all of those things than all of the stuff they describe it for, like, which is more based around drying and safe drying. I think it's much more ideal for that sort of wipe down, product pickup function. I've also said that the picture of the product, the thumbnail of it, made it look very thick, like a thick, dense drying towel. And when I got it, the first thing is I thought, well, that's a bit thinner than I was expecting. And here's a piece of criticism, that on the product description, there was no information on GSN, you know, the blend ratios. So I don't know how dense it is, how much microfiber per square meter I'm getting relative to this size. So the GSM is a great instant way of knowing how much microfiber you're getting, the density. It didn't tell me if it was like 80-20, you know, if it's 70-30 polyester to polyamide, the 70-30s, the polyamide ones are really soft, and you tend to feel it. And as soon as I got this, I felt it was a 70, I thought it was a 70-30, but I wasn't sure. It doesn't tell you about the border type, and indeed, going back to the picture, you couldn't see that it's actually got a silk border on it. Rather, a bit of thread there. It's a little bit of a thing. You just snip that, but it's a little bit of a thing. You want them to be absolutely flawless, don't you, in terms of perfection? So, yeah, I couldn't tell the border type and couldn't easily see that it had a border. So it was almost, the picture could have been more accurate to what I was receiving here. It came in this plastic bag as well, which you tend to get from Chinese manufacturers. Like, you know, like you buy it from the rag company, it comes in like a thick plastic sealed bag, like higher quality bag, whereas this is sort of cheaper packaging, but it's still packaging, and it was all sealed off. So I'm not marking it on the packaging, I'm just telling you everything I can think of. Now, it has a label on it, which is a good thing, and the label there tells you that it's made in China, which I would have leaned towards this being made in China. The coral fleece ones with borders on them tend to be, and it gives me the blend ratio 70-30, which is good information. Some people will really moan about that tag. If you try and rip that tag off, you can damage the stitching. Because it's stitched in there, you can damage the border. So removing that tag, you just want to be careful and probably just slice under there with a little scalpel or a pair of scissors. Just do it carefully, because it is a high quality item, and people will be funny about that, and they'll want that label off there. But it's still only a label. It's fabric, you know, a fabric label. So Chinese, you typically think a slightly less premium than Korean microfiber, although this is an example of the fact that there's very good Chinese microfiber. Another quality of this towel that I just want to get across to you is, this is helped by the silk border. It's one of the reasons I have them, is it just strengthens the towel up. So it's good in that sense. Without that border, it'd be a stretchy kind of thing, these coral fleeces. So I don't mind the silk border. People panic about silk borders. If you grab this cloth in a big fist and just grab it and buff on your paintwork with it, and you're going to be busting that silk border in. But if you use your cloth as they're designed to be used and just hold them reasonably well, and you flip that round like that and you buff on your paintwork, it's absolutely fine. The silk borders aren't a big deal, but you could argue you might prefer a what I call suede microfiber, you know, border like this one. It's slightly preferential for me, but no problem. Let's go on and use this, guys. And first and foremost, I want to test this against, I want to test it against all the range of things that I would potentially use it for. So here we have a strip of H8 compound, which is a bit harder to buff. Here we have double speed wax. These have all been on for about 20 minutes. So you'll struggle to see it on the panel there, which is a tough curing wax and a bit harder to buff. Here, Jesus, I put the new Auto Glaze Paint Reviver, which is cured off. I think it's probably too much product, but we're better to have too much than too little. And here I've got the wax emulsion, the Chemical Guys Butter Wet Wax, which should be a bit easier. So it should get kind of harder as we go this way, but that might be the stiffest test. So let's go straight in and see what the buff is like on this. I've got a feeling this is good. I want to get a good shot of it while we do it, so you can see. In fact, I'll try and just go one-handed with a good angle, so you can see what's going on. So first of all, this is the wet butter wax. It's taken, well, it's okay. It's more not the microfiber. It's more how the product is. There's a bit of grippiness there as I buff up the wax, but that's actually doing a great job. It feels really soft on the panel, man. It feels really nice, really soft. That is absolutely ideal, and it hasn't covered the panel in fibres, which is good. That's past that. Yeah, that's great. And sometimes you need all the light just to make sure you've got everything. I've got a few water spots under there. Right, so let's flip sides, and we'll go in and we'll buff this. This is going to be a challenge. Can it cope with this? It's quite a thick old thing actually when you've got it here. So I've got a little 4-way fold pinch going on. Let's get stuck into this glaze. So all the So this glaze, actually it's okay, but this glaze is on really thick. So, but I'm not buffing with pressure, I'm just letting the towel do it. That's done a really good job. It's grabbing on the glaze. Yeah, you wouldn't, it's grabbing a little bit and wanting to fold. But that is partly because I've got so much of it on there. This dry edge here, I just need a little bit more pressure. But that's doing a good job, man. That is, and then you could flip and just do that finish. It's actually no problems there. Now this is going to get even harder, so let's change sides again. Go to a fresh side. This is it's harder to see. This is the double speed. This is going to be a tougher buff. Well, no, it's easier. It's thinner. It's on thinner. It's on thinner. This is making light work of the double speed. It's doing great. Yeah. I've just put, because that glaze is a liquid. There's a lot more glaze than you needed to be there, so it's a big mega thick layer. So it coped with a tough paste wax really well, and then the final one is heavy compound H8, which typically has a good wipe down on it. Or this is harder to buff. If you see the panel moving around. But no, it's picking it up. It is sort of starting to ball a little bit. I can't see that where it's gripping. It's very pillowy, but that's okay. You could just, as well, like, where it's thinner there, you get a bit, so it's actually working better where it's only just 2 layers, because it's like a mattress. If you build up too much mattresses, it all starts wobbling around. You get the idea. That's done really well. It's done really well. It's a nice cloth, this is. Yeah, just a bit pillowy there. Now, what I would use this cloth for, you could use this cloth for polish wipe downs, be fine. The main problem is price so professionals are probably less likely to be using this for polishing wipes, because they want hundreds of them. And like, I've even got like, I don't know what, 20 or 30 of those Korean split pile ones, because I could get them for £1.65 each, those 350 GSM ones from Imran. So I could get a big load of them and just look after them. It would have cost me a lot more to use this particular one, which is something you've got to cover. That would stop, like, professionals always go and look for that kind of the best value option that's still high quality, and those have gone up in price. They were way too cheap. So yeah, that's something to consider. But this is a very, very high quality cloth that is extremely soft. What I want to do is a little sanity check with it, because what I like to do, let's just get the Autoglim Rapid Ceramic Spray. I like to do like a final wipe down with these. After a rinse, after you've done most of the dryings, that's quite a lot of ceramic spray. On a car, you've got most of the water up and you've just got a little bit of filming from where your towels got wet. I like to go in with detail spray and this type of cloth like that and do that final wipe down. Yeah, so just when this is wet, you know, and there's excess film, that's where you find it kind of biting a little bit, which is what I'm getting. And you'd get that if this was just water as well, but this is obviously more resinous. So this fluffy towel can, it's okay though, it's starting to slicken up. And that'd be absolutely fine. I think just thinking about things that, you know, when that's wet and that's done the first wipe down, that will now want to bite to the panel. So these work best, these towels, it's coral fleece, when it's just trace elements of film almost, when you're getting the finishing cloths really, when you're just trying to get that final finish and you're worried about any little tiny films, or so they are sort of more they're more better for lighter buffing products and final films. They seem to work really well on wax. They can just about cope with the heavy compound, but yeah, it is pulling on it a little bit. That it could cope with, but that was a mega thick. Any towel would have struggled with that because I put it on so thick, and it seemed to do a great job with the wax emulsion. So I think I'm there with this particular product. Ultimately as well, you'd have to use it and wash it you know, and you'd know after about 1 or 2 years if it had stiffened up and gone really bad. And assuming you're still washing it sensibly, so say you put this in on a 30-degree wash every single time, it was only removing product, it wasn't dirt, and you just used a little bit of liquid bio, spun it out, looked after it, let it air dried it the rest of the way so it doesn't mat up, and you did that with a load of them. After a year, you'd find out if the microfiber quality is any good, because very cheap microfiber can stiffen quite quickly after, say, 3 or 4 different washes, you know, over a couple of months or whatever. They can start to stiffen up, whereas this stuff should stay soft and really nice and plush after you've washed it, so you still get that handprint and it still has that marshmallow gummy feeling in it. This cloth is probably 8 or 9 years old. It's wet and it's just been used, so it's presenting at its best, but this cloth is still relatively soft. You can kind of see that after all these years, because it's good quality Korean stuff. Final thoughts on Mrs. Sasquatch Maximus Pink. I think it's a good product. I think it's an example of where you are with all of this. If you've been around all of this stuff for a long time and you're really into all your microfiber and you've explored it all, you'll have seen this before, and then you'll like look at the price, and then that could affect your review. But if I wind the clock back to before I'd really encountered all this high quality stuff, if I'd have gone and bought this Chemical Guys product, I'd seen it on the store of a shop and I thought, that looks like a nice cloth, that looks good quality, I'll buy a few of those. I'd have been really impressed with it, and it'd been like, you know, back then, 10, 15 years ago, that sort of cloth would have stood out, and it would have glowed and made you buy it on the store of Halfords, compared to what kind of Maguire's, Turtle Wax, Halfords themselves, and even Autoglim, the type of microfiber they're selling isn't as good quality as that. And you know, Chemical Guys get a lot of stick, but I think when they first launched, a lot of their accessories and even their polishing pads and a lot of their products were good quality and fun as well, and well marketed. And then on top of that, they went and did all their social media stuff and told people about their products and went on to become a huge brand. And that's an example of why, because there's no one that could say that's a bad quality product. That's fantastic. Yeah, it's just all the problem is, it's all of the nitty gritty of the review. There's just so much good quality stuff out there now. And like, if you know all of those brands and all those things, you can sort of get something similar. You'll find something similar that might be every bit as good, or maybe even a little bit better, for less price. And that's a challenge for Chemical Guys. Yeah, sometimes the prices are just a little bit high in the UK. Don't know though. Don't know. It's not offensively expensive, because I was just researching prices, and the Microfiber Madness Crazy Pile towel, which is Korean, which is edgeless, but you know, similar density, was £8.90, and I sort of think, well, they're top of market, but everything you buy from them is really good. So yeah, I think the summary is that if it was £4.95 or £5.95, it would be highly recommended for what it is. At £6.95, I think it's a good product, and I'd still say you should consider it if you like it. The only thing is, it's not quite as dense as this. You know, like there's more here, and this is bigger, but this is a rectangle. So you can see the size comparison. I don't think it's massively significant, any of this. Actually, no, it's not, is it? Oh yeah, it is a rectangle. So, well, I don't know. It's kind of 16 by 16 is a little bit larger, so it's might be a bit wider than this blue one. Yeah, it is. So it's a bit wider. There's more material on it than this blue one, actually. Look at that. It's a little. So this is probably 16 by 14. Yeah, so it's got a bit more material. One big thing is that GSM. I really want them to put that GSM on there so I know how much microfiber I'm getting, and that is important, and I think they could benefit from doing that, and consider removing the label as well. But other than that, that's a very nice microfiber towel. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've covered everything, and I have. It's very nice. It's nice, it's good quality. There we go, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you've used this and if you like it. And the guy that was asking for me to have a look at it, yeah, It is good. Thanks very much.